Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am Cold Cinema 83, and today it's time to do my vlog video for HorrorCon 2025. So yes, it's finally time. This is going to be all of my thoughts, feelings, everything that I experienced at HorrorCon 2025. I'm ready to do this. I'm sorry it took a little bit of it took some time, but work gets in the way, and it is what it is. But I'm finally ready to do this, so let's just jump right into it. Sit back, and I hope you will enjoy this vlog video. All right, so yes, all right, HorrorCon 2025 has come and gone. And I have a lot to say about it, so let's just get started. First of all, I would like to say that HorrorCon 2025 was really, really great for me. I really loved being back at the event. It was great to see, my friends and lots of other people. So, first of all, of course, thank you to Tiffany and Stefan for being there once again. You are great people. You are amazing fellow movie fans, horror fans, and it was really great catching up with you guys. And as to everyone that I have, met over the weekend, thank you all. It's been great meeting you. So and talking to you, of course. So yeah, I just wanted to start with that. So before I dive into everything that I bought, saw, and all of that, I want to start off with a few sort of notes and suggestions, a couple of critical points that I want to give to the people of HorrorCon, because I did have some small issues with this con. So here we go. The first thing I want to say is that even though I loved HorrorCon this year, I noticed that in the room where you have the Q&A sessions, right? The room where the Q&As are being held, it is extremely chilly and cold in that space. All right. I was wearing a sweater and sometimes a coat, and I still was kind of cold. So the Q&A room, the space where you hold the Q&As, is really bad temperature wise. Now I understand that it's in an old factory, and the rooms are very big, large, stuff like that. But I want to implore you to fix this for next year, okay? Maybe put in some heating there, or something like that. Or maybe create some isolation in that room. I don't know what that's going to be, but either of those things. But please, I'm begging you, do something about the temperature in that room, because it was I mean, it was decent, but and it wasn't just me. A lot of people were kind of chilly in that room, in that whole room. So just saying, create some isolation or heating thing or whatever, but fix the temperature in the Q&A room, okay? So that's one. The second thing that I want to say is that, again, as much as I loved the event and this HorrorCon of this year, I feel like, and I've heard a lot of people say this, so I'm not the only one, but in my opinion, the guest list of this year was kind of underwhelming and lackluster. Now, I understand that it's always difficult to book actors, and to get, to fix things schedule wise. And I completely understand that. Trust me, I know it's very hard to do that. But still, if you look back at 2024, I mean, you had the cast from Children of the Corn, you had Christina Lindbergh from Thriller Crew Picture. You had all of these amazing guests, and this year I just feel like was a little bit lackluster. So I want to ask you to at least consider getting some more, household names for 2026. Try to get some bigger names in there, because again, look, this was your 10th anniversary, all right, and you expect something big, grandeur at that whole thing, and I guess I was just hoping for, a few more big names. So I really want to implore you guys, just try to get some more household names next year for 2026. All right. So, okay. Those were my points, my issues, my points of criticism that I wanted to bring across to the people of HorrorCon. Please fix these issues or try to do something about it anyway. So, yeah. All right. Now it's time to just dive into the con itself and just everything I experienced and bought and all of that stuff. So where do I start with this? Let's see. You know what? Let's just start with this. Let's start with signatures from the guests and photos and all of that, photo ops, autographs, and all of that I got. So, all right. So, autographs and photos from all of the guests. So, again, not a lot of really interesting guests this year, but I did meet a couple of them, which were really, really great to meet. The first one that I wanted to talk about was, this is like one of my childhood icons in horror cinema. It's really great to finally have met this person. I'm talking about Ashley Lawrence, who plays Kirsty Cotton, of course, from Hellraiser, played by Ashley Lawrence, of course. And she finally made an appearance at HorrorCon, and it was amazing to finally meet her. It was really great. I mean, there were some problems on the Saturday. Apparently they were very late, so we were waiting in line for like 2 hours before she arrived with Doug Bradley. But apparently there was a traffic accident and all of that stuff. So nothing to blame for that. Not to blame them or whatever. That they couldn't do anything about that. Sort of like circumstances, and it happens, and it's fine. So, but it was great meeting her, and I can't believe how well she has aged. Actually, I mean, I think she's like 52 right now, and she is still looking, as stunning. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she looks so gorgeous. Even today, it is like insane how good she looks. Absolutely, yeah, it was really great meeting her. I had, she wasn't really a big chatter, so we didn't talk a lot, which I understand. I mean, like, her line and Doug Bradley's were huge, so I understand that you have to sort of like move it along, so you can't talk for like minutes and minutes and minutes. But we did talk a little bit. I asked her how it was working, what it was like working with Clive Barker, and she says it was a wonderful director and a great human being, and it was great to work. He was great to work with as a filmmaker. So that's really good to hear. So yeah, I got my. She signed my Blu-ray cover right there. Oop, there it is. It's a bit of glare there. She signed my Blu-ray cover right there with much love, Ashley, which is really cool. Really cool. So, the thing about this is that, like, even though I own a house, I don't have a lot of space. So I can't put up like hundreds and hundreds of movie posters, because there were a lot of people in line that, had like movie posters signed and stuff. If I had the space to do that, then I would sign like movie posters all the time. But I just don't have the space and the room to put up like hundreds of movie posters. So I'd rather have, Blu-ray covers signed, because it's a lot easier to, take out a Blu-ray out of the cabinet from the shelf, and, just seeing this and like, oh yeah, that was the one, So that's a lot easier. So I do it like this. I always let them sign the Blu-ray covers, because again, I just don't have the space to put up movie posters. But yeah, so Ashley was really great. And of course, later on, I had my photo op with her. And again, I just want to show you, just not me, that's there, but like, just look. There's a glare there. There you go. Like, look how gorgeous it's. I can't believe it. She is still so beautiful. It is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Ashley Lawrence right there. Great photo, and thank you, Ashley. It was really lovely meeting you. So yeah. All right. And by the way, I'm talking about the Saturday, okay? Not the Sunday, the Saturday. So, the second person I met was also from Hellraiser, and that is Oliver Smith, who plays Skinless Frank in the first Hellraiser film, and in the second, of course, but especially the first one. And Oliver Smith was so lovely, and he is so down to earth and humble. It's really insane when you think about it. And he was so gracious with all of his fans. His line was shorter, so he had more time to chat with you a bit and stuff like that. And I ended up asking him, like, for all of the makeup of Skinless Frank, how much time did that take? And he told me that he had to be in the makeup chair for like 45 hours, something like that. 42, I think it was. 42 hours he had to be in the makeup chair. I mean, that's like, what? That's insane. I mean, that's crazy, man. It's like the amount of time to put like everything on there is like, that's bonkers, man. And it's like, and he told me that because like his mouth and stuff also had, of course, makeup on, he couldn't eat like solid food while he had the makeup on. He couldn't eat solid food because that would like really wreck his makeup and the special teeth that he had and stuff. So he had to eat liquid food, which he was, he had a sort of like a cup with a straw, and he would just like do eat his breakfast like that and stuff, which is really kind of funny when you think about it. But yeah, so he was great to meet. Oliver Smith was great, and again, he signed my Blu-ray cover on the other side there. There it is. That's from Oliver Smith as well. So yeah, really great, great signature there. And yeah, really lovely person to meet. And then of course I had my photo op with him, and it's again another great photo. And there he is, Oliver Smith. So yeah, a really, really great person to meet. Both of them actually. And yeah, it was really great meeting these people, the cast of Hellraiser. All right, so those were my autographs and photos on Sunday. Sorry, on the Saturday. Those were my autographs and photos on the Saturday. So on the Sunday, I met Alice Creech. And Alice Creech, of course, most people know her for the Borg Queen, but she was also in Sleepwalkers, and of course in Ghost Story, which I brought with me to sign. Right there, Alice Creech, right there. Ghost Story. Now, I will say, like, Ghost Story is a very underappreciated and underrated film. I really like this film. It's real. I think it's actually pretty good. There is lots of atmosphere there. It has a very gothic sort of feel to it. A little bit of Edgar Allan Poe going on. Yeah, I don't know why people put this sort of by the side of the road, but I recently rewatched it, and it's a pretty great film actually. It has a lot of things going for it. And one of the biggest things, of course, is Alice Creech, her performance as sort of like the specter, the ghost of the film. She does a really good job there actually, and I asked her at the table. She was lovely, by the way, and again, aged very well. But she was lovely to meet, and I asked her at the table again, how long did it take for you to have the makeup on and stuff? Apparently, it didn't take that long, which I wouldn't have expected, because again, Oliver Smith having to be in the makeup chair for 40 hours, that's pretty insane. But the prosthetics of Alice Creech apparently took a lot less time. Apparently the makeup for the Borg Queen was a lot more demanding, which I didn't expect. That was kind of interesting to hear that. But yeah, so yeah, Ghost Story. Of course, he signed my Blu-ray cover again, right there. There you go, Alice Creech. And yeah, just a lovely person to meet, and again, has aged very well, as you can see by my photo op right there. There you go. Yeah, she looked absolutely wonderful. She looked absolutely wonderful, and she, again, very gracious with her fans and stuff. It was really, really great. Really nice to meet her. So yeah, great photo right here, Alice Creech. Really wonderful person to meet. So again, Alice Creech, thank you for being there, and it was lovely to meet you. All right, and my last guest of the year that I met on at HorrorCon was Ralph Ineson. Now, I noticed something very odd about the whole guest list. So they had Ty West, they had Neil Maskell, they had the I forgot the names of them, but the twin sisters who are directors. Neil Maskell, of course, was there. Like I said, I feel like they were aiming towards a younger horror audience this year for some reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I want the new generation of movie fans to really love their horror as well. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean, I noticed they were aiming towards the more modern horror audience, which was interesting. They originally had Jane Levy there, of course, from the Evil Dead remake and Don't Breathe and stuff like that. But ultimately, she had to cancel because, you know, if you have to work, you have to work. You know, in America, they have no safety net. So if they don't work, they don't have money. So, you know, if you have to work, you have to work. It's sad, but that's just the way of things. But one of the modern day horror directors that I actually really love is Robert Eggers. Now, I love The Witch. I think The Witch is still my favorite Robert Eggers film. I love The Lighthouse. I wasn't too big on The Northman, but I loved Nosferatu. And his next movie is going to be a werewolf film, so you know it's pretty great. But I met Ralph Ineson on the Sunday, who does a lot of work with Robert Eggers, and I wanted him to sign something from The Witch. Now, I have that special edition box set of The Witch from Second Sight, but the Blu-ray cover is very flimsy. It's cardboard, you know. So I was a little scared that, like, if he would sign that eventually it was going to wear off, you know. Whereas this, I will just put this back in the Blu-ray cover and it will be, you know, it will be protected. But you know, with the Witch one, I was scared that eventually it would wear off if he had signed that. So instead, I picked something from the table, which is this great sort of like, I guess, flyer or flyer or whatever of The Witch. And of course, there it is. Ralph signed it there. There's a bit of a glare to it. Maybe this is like, yeah. So he signed it right there. And evil takes many forms. Yeah. So yeah, The Witch. This is a really great flyer, sort of mini poster. It's really great, and I'm probably going to frame this at some point. But yeah, so The Witch, he signed that. So thank you, Ralph Ineson. And then, of course, I had my photo up with Ralph Ineson, and he has such an amazing sort of like low voice, you know, probably from smoking all of those cigars, but he has a great voice. Lovely photo right there, and yeah, so those were my autographs and photos for the whole weekend. So I did attend the Ralph Ineson Q&A, which was really great, amazing. He mentioned some stuff about Werewolf, the upcoming new film of Robert Eggers. He got asked a lot of questions about Galactus, you know, in the MCU, but of course he couldn't tell anything. Because Kevin Feige would kill him probably. Just a figure of speech, of course. But no, that is very secretive, of course. But yeah, lovely Q&A. I went to see the Q&A of the Hellraiser ones, the Hellraiser reunion, which was amazing. It was very funny and lovely to see everyone together again. So yeah, that was all great, great Q&As, except of course for being very cold there. So yeah, but yeah, great stuff. All right, so where do I go from here? Let's just dive into this. Let's just dive into this real quick. And the rest of the weekend, I just spent like a lot of times just buying stuff, really, just walking around the con and buying stuff and, spending way too much money. I way overspend, guys. I way overspend. And of course, you have to have, a lot of beer. And again, I drank so many beers at the con. I can't even, I should probably like really sort of like watch my weight after that, which I am, by the way. I'm having like a drink because it's the weekend now. But apart from that, I'm not having any alcohol at this point. So yeah, I'm kind of, I guess you could say I'm kind of cleaning my body. So, except for today, of course. But yeah, so yeah, I just spend the rest of the time walking around the con and buying stuff. I mean, lots of stuff. Let's just start with this. Of course, I had to buy t-shirts, of course. Had to buy t-shirts. And the first one I'm actually wearing right now, which let me just show you. This is a fantastic t-shirt I found of Thriller A Cruel Picture, or they call her One Eye. So yeah, great t-shirt. Of course, I already met Christina Lindberg at HorrorCon last year. But I really, really love this film. So when I saw this T-shirt, I had to buy it, of course. Excuse me. Great T-shirt. And then, of course, I had to buy another one, which is. Let me just show you again. There you go. And You Will Live in Terror. Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Is that okay? There it is. Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. A really great t-shirt. Really amazing. That is great. So, yeah, The Beyond. A t-shirt of The Beyond. The Beyond is, The Beyond is, it's my favorite Lucio Fulci film. I think it's a masterpiece. So yeah, of course, had to buy that one. Let's see, where do we go from here? Let's do this first. I got, of course, I had to find some coasters, and I only found 2 this year actually, which is kind of like disappointing. But a lot of them I already had, so I don't have to double dip on those. But I did find 2, so it's pretty great. So I got this one from The Fog, of course. John Carpenter's The Fog. It's a really cool one, And I got a Night of the Living Dead one, which is also really great. So yeah, 2 pretty cool coasters right there. Bought that. Where do I put this? Let's just put it here for now. I'll put it here for now. All right. So where do we move on from there? You know what? Let's do this first. Of course, I have to buy a couple of new movies. Of course, I mean, it wouldn't be complete if I didn't at least buy some movies right there. Okay, right? I mean, that's sort of par for the course. And I finally found a copy of this film, and I couldn't resist. I have to pick this up. Halloween Season of the Witch, Halloween 3 actually, Season of the Witch. Now, this is a very underrated film by many horror fans, and I completely understand. It's all in the marketing. The marketing was completely wrong on this. The movie should have just been called Season of the Witch. Then it would have been an instant classic. I completely acknowledge that. Halloween 3 had no business being the title of this. So I completely agree that if this would have been called just Season of the Witch, it would have been a classic instantly. But, it is what it is. But, I mean, I think a lot of people are rediscovering it at this point. And a lot of people are turning around on it, which that's a good thing, because I adore this film. I love Season of the Witch. So I finally found a copy of this, which is pretty great. This is the back, and I mean, look at the special features. There are like tons of special features, which is amazing. And the biggest one for me is this one, Horror's Hallowed Grounds, which is basically a vlog video revisiting the original shooting locations with host Sean Clark and Tommy Lee Wallace, the director of the movie, of course. So they are revisiting the locations of where this film has been shot, which I think is amazing. I can't wait to see that. It's pretty. That's pretty great. So, of course, you have your. It's a 4K and a Blu-ray, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, really great. And it's from. You probably can't make it out, but it's from Shout Factory. So but I saw this and I was like, I have to pick this up. So really great stuff. All right. It wouldn't be me if I didn't pick up some, Italian exploitation films, some good old Italian horror and stuff like that. I mean, you all know me. That's my bread and butter right there. So I picked up Rat Man. And I watched this today, and this is actually a pretty freaking cool movie. Actually, it's really, really good for the most part. Yeah, Ratman right there. It's pretty great actually. This is just one of those 80s Italian horror films that goes really bonkers, in a lot of places. This is fantastic. And look at this again. Look at the artwork. I mean, the Italians, Europeans, and their artwork, man. The posters, it's pretty crazy. So, yeah. But I really dig this film. It's actually pretty good. And there's you have stuff in there, swag, poster, and stuff, and all of that. So, which is pretty great. And it stars David Warbeck, of course, from The Beyond and the Last Hunter. Janet Agron is in this film, which is pretty great. So yeah, Ratman. That's and this is actually from you probably can't tell what it is, but this is from Cauldron Films. So yeah, pretty great sort of horror exploitation movie from the 80s by gotta love the Italians, man. Gotta love the Italians for doing this stuff, and a great soundtrack, by the way. It's an awesome soundtrack. It's a great score as well. So, Ratman. All right, and then I picked up one more, and this is actually a box set. And I have been looking for this for a very long time, but if you look at it on eBay and stuff, I mean, they go for insane prices. I mean, sometimes they go for like $200, which is just insane. I won't pay that kind of money for a limited edition or a box set. Although I shouldn't say that, because my Black Emmanuel box set is my most expensive piece of physical media. But apart from that, I won't pay that kind of money for a box set. But I finally found a copy of this at HorrorCon, and it actually had a decent price. I bought this for £50, which I think is like $55, something like that. And I couldn't resist. That's a very good price, so I have to pick it up. Which is, of course, David Cronenberg's Videodrome. I adore this film. I love this film. David Cronenberg is one of my favorite directors of all time. I couldn't resist. And just look at this amazing set. I mean, just look at this. There you go. Look at that. It's fantastic. So in this box, there is a Blu-ray and a DVD, of course, with, of course, the infamous belly scene, and there is, of course, the cathode ray mission. Then there is a booklet. There you go. Long live the new flesh. There's the exploding TV. And there, of course, is the gruesome and gnarly but delicious death of the main villain of the film, Barry Convex. Very gnarly, of course, but you know. So there is this is a great booklet. It's the cancer gun right there. Let me just see if I can show you anything. Oh, it won't. There's a glare. There you go. Maybe. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, great booklet, like rich with text, as of course I want to learn about the film, and of course, you know, you have cast and crew and stuff like that. So a really great booklet as well. And then there is this other disc right here, which has a stereo, Crimes of the Future, Transfer, and F from the Drain. So these are David Cronenberg's short films. You know, before he made Shivers, of course. Before he made Shivers, his first main feature, he made some, you know, low-budget short films, like films that are like 15 minutes long. These are his short films. So again, Stereo, Crimes of the Future, which of course he recently turned into a full main feature, Transfer, and F from the Drain. So yeah. So this is really great stuff. I'm so happy to have picked up this release from Arrow Video, by the way. I picked up. There you go. From Arrow Video, by the way. This is a great box set, and as a as a fan of David Cronenberg, I couldn't pass this up. So really great stuff. All right, so those were the Blu-rays that I picked up. Let's move over to this one. All right. As you can see me drinking from my cup, actually, of course I had to buy a mug. I love my mugs. I have a Lucio Fulci zombie one. I have a Lady Dimitrescu one from Resident Evil Village. And this year I found this one, and I just had to have this because it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. There was this great mug of Nightmare on Elm Street. Look at this. Excuse me. Look at this. This is pretty great. It's great detail right there, lots of, yeah. And of course, there's the claw. Just a really, really great mug. And again, it's the same mug that I've been buying, because again, the inside right there. So, I love drinking beers from this. It keeps beers nice and cold. So, I love drinking my beers from this. So, yeah, this is a really great mug right there. So Nightmare on Elm Street, a great mug there. Picked up that one. Let's see what else. All right, let's do these. All right, so there we go. All right, so last year at HorrorCon, there was this shop, and they would sell sort of like fake newspaper articles about horror movies. And last year, my suitcase was so full and packed with stuff that I couldn't bring any of them. And I was kind of hoping this year, like, I hope the same shop or stand is going to be there. Fingers crossed. And they were. And this year, I actually had more space in my suitcase, so I decided to pick up 3 of them. And I'm probably going to frame these actually because they are really, really good. So the first one, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I should pull back a little bit. There you go. Just look at this. This is pretty cool, actually. So this is of course, a newspaper article about the mysterious murders taking place in the Cotton House. I mean, we all know that this is Hellraiser, right? I mean, Pinhead, you have in the back there, you have Captain Elliot Spencer. 6 bodies found in local home. The police claim they are ritualistic murders. So, the Cricklewood Echo. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, look at this. This is pretty. You have the Pyramid Gallery right there. The Chouinard Institute, advertisements and stuff. This is really great. I really love this. So I'm probably going to frame these and put on the wall somewhere. I don't know, but yeah. So picked up that one. The second one I picked up is this one. I think we all know what this is again. The Butler County Crow. That's what this is called. There it is. Maybe I should put it like this. They won't stay dead. Ghouls keep coming back in a bloodthirsty lust for human flesh. It's not of the living dead, right? we all know this. So, danger radiation. There is an article about the space probe right there. Just really, really great. These newspaper clippings are pretty cool, actually. They had a lot more, but 3 will do for a start. But this is, of course, Night of the Living Dead, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, really great. And the third and last one, of course, I had to pick up. It comes from the Derry News. Of course, the mysterious murders that take place in Derry. Remember the curfew, and this is, of course, we all know this. This is from It. This is, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So right there, it's the Losers Club, of course. And there's, of course, Pennywise. Yeah, really great. I mean, I love these. These are great newspaper clippings. Pretty great stuff. So, yeah, that's my third one that I picked up. So we have these great newspaper clippings. It's gonna be it's gonna be tough to look for a spot to put all of this, but it is what it is. And last but not least, definitely not least, I picked up a stack of vinyl. Now, as you all know, I love my movie soundtracks. And, I used to have a very big vinyl collection, but it was just like rock and roll and all of that. Recently, I sold all of that, and I decided I'm starting to collect movie soundtracks. I have a couple of them, as you can see right there, where it is, right there, I don't know. But if you look in the background, you can see Suspiria right there, which is pretty cool. So I already have a couple of them, but of course I want to continue. So I'm collecting movie soundtracks right now, and I found like a lot of them. I found a huge stack of movie soundtracks that are really cool at HorrorCon, and I basically purchased all of them. So that's it's pretty great. I mean, like I said, I overspend. I spend too much money actually, but you know what? It's fine. Because you usually do one or two of these a year, right? I mean, HorrorCons, and you're kind of going for gold, right? So it's fine. So the first one I picked up is this one from the soundtrack of The Evil Dead, of course. Joseph Loduca. This is fantastic, man. This is a great soundtrack, and a great vinyl sort of thing. I really like this. This is actually pretty cool. So yeah, that's the first one. The Evil Dead, really great. Excuse me. The second one, being a big John Carpenter fan, I had to pick this up, of course. John Carpenter's The Fog, really awesome vinyl record this is. I mean, just that's really great right there. The Fog. Yeah. Really great stuff. So The Fog again. Of course, I mean, all-time classic, but you have to own the Shining, of course, the soundtrack. Really great stuff right there. Oh, the price tag is still on there. I have to get that off. But yeah, really great. Again, great stuff. One of my all-time favorite Italian films, Cannibal Ferox, right there, or Make Them Die Slowly. This is freaking awesome. I love Italian soundtracks, and Cannibal Ferox is one of them. So, can I show you the back? Yeah, I can. There you go. This is the back, of course. The infamous brain-eating scene. Modern man is the victim of brutal, primitive revenge. That is very simplistic. I mean, the plot of the movie is a lot more complicated, but yeah, this is pretty great, actually. Really, really great. Great soundtrack right there. So, Cannibal Ferox. Another Italian soundtrack vinyl that I really love, Profondo Rosso, or Deep Red, done by the Goblins, of course. Dario Argento film, what's not to love? Couldn't resist picking this up. And I still have to listen to these, by the way. I still have to listen to these, but, I'm sure I will at some point. But, yeah, this is pretty great right there. So, Profondo Rosso, Deep Red. And the last one, this is a movie that I adore. It's actually in my top 10 of favorite movies of all time. Not horror movies, but favorite movies of all time. It's from a Dutch director, Paul Verhoeven. This film is fantastic, and the soundtrack is amazing. I picked up Basic Instinct. I adore this movie. I love Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone is freaking hot. So sexy in this. Michael Douglas, great actor. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, of course. Just really, really great. And the soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith is fantastic. So, yeah, again, I mean, Basic Instinct. What a great vinyl record right there. And it's it's pretty good. Really good. So, yeah. And that's the last one. And that's it. That's it. That's everything I picked up, and that's everything I did at Walker. I was going to say Walker Stalker. That's everything I did and bought and witnessed at HorrorCon 2025. So, in closing, let's just talk about this. All right. Okay, so overall, I would say this was a really great con. But again, there are two things that are sticking out to me. Of course, I talked about the Q&A space, the Q&A room. But more importantly, the guest list. I think if I had to name one big issue that I had with HorrorCon this year, was again the guest list for at least for me. I heard more people say this, but at least for me, I feel like the guest list was just a little bit underwhelming. Let's just say that. And I hope for next year that they will rectify that and give us, like I said, more household names. And I completely understand that they, like I said, they were aiming, I think, towards the somewhat younger horror audiences. But for me personally, that's not really my bread and butter. That's not really my cup of tea. I'm from my horror period is 60s, 70s, and 80s. And there just weren't a lot of people around from that sort of era. So, it is what it is. But, who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe next year they will rectify that. So yeah, excuse me. So before I close off. Oh wait, no. I'm not done. I actually did this as well. Um, the organizers from HorrorCon, they actually showed horror films at the local cinema. So, which was really cool. Excuse me. Which was very cool. So on Friday, I watched the original Child's Play, which was it was really great to see it on the big screen for once. It was really great. On Saturday, I watched Fright Night, the original Fright Night, which is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. I love that one. I mean, Rear Window with vampires in it. I mean, come on, you can't beat that. And also on Saturday, we watched Return of the Living Dead, which is just a very fun, sort of ride. They did show A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 on the Sunday. But because I had to fly back on the Monday, I figured, it's going to be a bit late. Let's not do that. So, but yeah, I watched a couple of movies at the local cinema as well. So that was really good too. So yeah, overall a really great con. But again, in terms of guests, maybe next year you have some better ones for me anyway. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's it. That's my whole vlog of HorrorCon 2025. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Have you been to HorrorCon? Have you not been? If you did you have the same experience as me? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree? If you disagree, tell me why. We can discuss and debate in the comment section as usual. So yeah, let me know. But with all of that out of the way, I'm just going to close off again with the same thing. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back with more videos as soon as possible. I will say that I won't record any podcasts or streams over the summer because I'm just going to be very swamped with work. I got some family members coming to visit in August. So, it's going to be very busy. I'll probably record a video here and there, but in terms of podcasts and streams and stuff, I'm not going to do those until September, probably. Just putting that out there. So anyway, but I will be back with more content as soon as possible. I will promise you that. So yeah, again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe and healthy as always. Have a good weekend, and I will see and talk to you guys very, very soon. So, bye everyone. See ya, and I will catch you later.